On August 23, 2005, a tropical depression formed over the Bahamas, and by August 25th, it had grown into Hurricane Katrina, a monstrous Category 5 storm that would soon strike the Gulf Coast. Its winds reached an astonishing 175 miles per hour. But it wasn't just the wind that would leave devastation in its wake. Katrina brought a storm surge of up to 28 feet in some areas, threatening a city already vulnerable due to its low-lying geography. By the morning of August 29, 2005, Katrina made landfall near Buras-Triumph, Louisiana, as a Category 3 hurricane. New Orleans, much of which lies below sea level and is protected by levees, bore the brunt of the storm. Within hours, the levees began to fail. Neighborhoods in the lower Ninth Ward, the Industrial Canal, and St. Bernard Parish flooded with catastrophic speed. Thousands of homes were submerged under up to 20 feet of water. The human impact was immediate and horrifying. Tens of thousands were trapped on rooftops, in attics, and in makeshift shelters like the Superdome, which became overcrowded and unsanitary. Food, water, and medical supplies ran out quickly, leaving residents vulnerable to dehydration, illness, and exposure. Stories emerged of people wading through waist-deep water, holding children above their heads, or clinging to debris for hours while waiting for rescue. Tragically, many did not survive. By the time the waters receded, over 1,800 lives had been lost in Louisiana alone, with thousands more across Mississippi and other Gulf states. The disaster was compounded by the failure of government response at every level. Local authorities struggled with coordination, overwhelmed by the scale of the crisis. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, faced harsh criticism for delays in mobilizing resources and aid. Rescue efforts were slow and chaotic, leaving residents stranded and desperate for days. The media broadcast heart-wrenching images of elderly citizens trapped in hospitals, families separated, and bodies floating in floodwaters, fueling outrage over the lack of timely action. The social fallout was equally severe. Entire communities were displaced. The storm exposed deep racial and economic inequalities. Those who were poor or lacked transportation were disproportionately affected, unable to evacuate before the storm or access assistance afterward. Public trust in government eroded as blame shifted from local officials to state leaders and ultimately to the federal government. Katrina became a stark illustration of systemic failures in disaster preparedness, infrastructure, and crisis management. Yet, amid the tragedy, there were remarkable stories of resilience and heroism. Volunteers from across the country arrived in boats and trucks, forming ad hoc rescue missions. Neighbors helped each other survive in the most desperate circumstances. The city's recovery would take years, and some neighborhoods remain forever changed. But Katrina also sparked reforms in disaster response planning, flood protection systems, and emergency management. Hurricane Katrina's darkest days revealed not just the raw power of nature, but the consequences of unpreparedness, inequality, and bureaucratic failure. It remains a haunting reminder that when disaster strikes, the survival of communities depends not only on courage and resilience, but on an effective and compassionate government ready to act.